Hi everyone, Nigel Saunders here. Welcome back to the Bonsai Zone. Today's video will be all about updates. And for the first update, we've got to head to Mars. So here we go. Well, we've made it to Mars. We can take our helmets off now. And I'm in the Martian laboratory where I'm trying to grow plants in the Martian soil. The first plant that I put in the Martian soil died, and I think it was because the soil was off-gassing, kind of toxic gases. But after a while it settled down. It didn't smell as much. And I planted an aloe in it about 1.5 years ago. So let's have a look at the aloe and see how it's doing today. The aloe has been doing really well, and it's even grown a pup. Here's a close-up look at the aloe, and you can see it looks really healthy. It's a nice green color. It's grown a branch or a pup off of the main trunk, and it's really nice to know that a plant can grow successfully in this Martian type simulant. I'm doing this update today because on February 18th of this year, 2021, the Perseverance rover is going to be landing on Mars. So that's going to be really exciting watching that, and hopefully everything will go well. I really had fun making this project. I made my own Martian simulant, cooking up the chemicals in the backyard in the winter with an oven, and I had fun making the soil. I 3D printed the Mars rover. This is the Curiosity rover, and that file can be downloaded off the NASA website. It was really fun making the model and painting it and detailing it. It was just a really fun way to spend winter, and winter went by really quickly that year. It's time now to head back to Earth for the rest of today's updates. Many of my bonsai trees are just allowed to grow over the summer, and then before I bring the tropicals in, I give them a pruning to shorten them down, and when they come into the plant room after being outside in fall, the warmth just makes them grow again. So it's sort of like another spring for them. And this year I was working on the plant room, so I was quite late bringing my tropicals into the house here, but they're in finally now. And over the month of December, I've been pruning them back. So now all these updates will see how the trees are reacting to that pruning. My first update is my climbing aloe. I think it's Aloe ciliaris. And I wasn't sure how it would react to pruning if I pruned off these long branches, if it would bud back or not, or if it would just die back to the trunk. It looks like they bud back fine. I'll give you a close-up of that. Here's a branch that I cut back. It had no green foliage on it, but now there's a new shoot coming out. And you can see it on all the others too. I'm not sure what this aloe will eventually end up looking like, but for now I'm going to let it grow once again. And it's nice to know that I can cut these branches back anywhere and new growth will pop out. The next update is my Hibiscus bonsai. Let's go in and have a look and see what's happening. Here's a look at one of the branch tips, and you can see there's new growth coming out here and also back here. Some here. So it's starting to back bud. Even on the old wood, there's new buds popping out all over the place. So the tree is filling in really nicely. I think, in another few weeks there'll be new buds coming out all over and it'll start greening up again. It'll look quite nice. My next update is my Ginseng ficus. It used to have a grafted portion on the top, which was a tiger bark ficus, but that section died. And when I got it, it had started to sprout new branches from the rootstock. So everything on this tree is just a regular Ficus microcarpa now. This tree is also recovering nicely. There's new buds popping out all over the old wood. Let's go in and have a look at that. I'm looking down at the tree now, and you can see all the new buds down in there that are popping out all over the place. So I think it'll be quite dense, the canopy on this tree, once they all develop into branches. I was really happy with the results of the root carving on this tree, and I'm going to do further carving in the future, subdividing some of these thicker roots into smaller ones. Except for the turntable down here, everything you see here is 3D printed. So this pot, the legs, the base, and the stand that's underneath it, all 3D printed. My next update is my pink pixie bougainvillea bonsai. It's coming back really nicely, a lot of back budding all over. The new leaves are coming in really nicely. Yeah, no complaints, it's doing really well. My next update is my Dwarf Schefflera bonsai. This tree is in a 3D printed pot on a 3D printed stand, and there's a 3D printed person leaning on the pot. I think the person gives it a good sense of scale. The tree is doing really well. There's all kinds of new shoots and branches coming in. Some of the new shoots are more vigorous than others. So as the tree develops, I'll pinch back the vigorous shoots and let the less vigorous ones catch up. So eventually the whole tree will be growing evenly. This tree is reminiscent of the giant bonsai they grow in Vietnam. My next update is my Brazilian rain tree. It's got all kinds of new shoots coming in now. Let's go have a look. The Brazilian rain tree has new buds popping out all over the branches. I don't think it'll be long before the canopy is nice and green and lush looking. I'll be repotting this tree in early summer, getting a nicer pot and getting that root base to spread out, and a little bigger pot to support all the growth that's going to come this summer. Next is my yellow hibiscus. It got a rather drastic pruning, reducing it from a long, tall, skinny tree down to something a little more compact, and now there's new buds coming out on the old wood. You can see a new bud coming out on the old wood right here, and I think in the next few weeks you'll see a lot more of them starting to develop, and it'll start getting a nice branch structure so I can replace some of these really thick straight sections with some branches down lower and start developing a really nice structure to the tree. The little bunnies are keeping a close watch on the tree, so they'll let me know if anything exciting develops. My next update is my pencil cactus. It's starting to get some new growth too. I'm getting new growth on every branch that I didn't prune, like this one here. There's new growth on the branches I didn't prune up here also. Other than that, there's not much happening on it. My next update is my monkey ear trees. They are recovering really nicely. These trees are fast-growing trees, and I'm really impressed with them, growing them as a bonsai. Here's a look at the new growth on the smaller trees. It's coming in really well. The tallest tree is developing a new shoot up top here, and it's a really interesting scar they form around the pruning point. Here's a close-up of that scar. I was amazed at the growth rate of my Brazilian rain trees, and these monkey ear trees are like Brazilian rain trees on steroids. They just grow twice as fast. They're amazing trees. My next update is my jade bonsai forest. It's getting all kinds of new shoots coming in. Let's go in and have a look at that. Here's a close-up of the apex of the main tree, and at the top here you can see 3 new branches forming. The lower branch is covered in new buds. All the trees in the forest seem to be recovering and doing really well. My next update is my Portulacaria Afroforest. I just pruned this up 2 days ago, but now the sand has dried, so I thought I'd show you what it looks like. Here's a nice sandy color you get with that mix of white sand and playground sand. 2 days ago, all the leaves were all wrinkled and shriveled up because I hadn't been watering it much in the basement. I brought it up into the warmth here. I gave it a watering, and now all the leaves are plumping up and they're nice and firm. This tree 2 days ago was all wrinkled, all the leaves, and it's nice and plump looking. And the ones on the end are still a little wrinkly looking, but they're starting to firm up already. I can see the changes just from today. I replaced a lot of the dead trees in this forest with cuttings, and I'm hoping they root and grow well over the summer. I really enjoy this Portulacaria Afroplanting or elephant bush. It's been a really nice bonsai to develop over the last 20 years. And that's all for today. I'm Nigel Saunders. Thanks for joining me in the Bonsai Zone.